All right, day 3 of my commitment to post something every day for a month. Today, I'm going to talk about fat loss and maintenance. So here at Sustainable Success, I help people to get stronger. And relatively speaking, helping people to get stronger is fairly straightforward. That would be a topic for another monologue, but essentially just make sure that people their muscles are challenged sufficiently and that you do so in a way that doesn't hurt them and doesn't provide or doesn't require an inordinate amount of time so that they can sustain it. If they hurt themselves or if the time commitment is unreasonable, it won't work long term. Fat loss, on the other hand, is very, very different and much more challenging. You see, I can control what people do in the 30 or 40 minutes that they're here with me once or twice a week. I have absolutely no control over what happens when they leave here and the other 23 and a half hours of every day in which their other habits are going to primarily be the catalyst that will help with their body composition goals, which means more muscle and less fat. And the statistics on this are quite dismal. People lose weight. My dad, who was a recovering alcoholic, used to say, quitting's easy, not starting over is the hard part. And I believe that applies very much when it comes to fat loss or body composition goals. Getting to a certain goal is one thing, that's challenging in and of itself, but staying there in the long-term maintenance, the statistics are very, very dismal. But a lot of people even first the losing of it, because you have to think that if you have a significant amount of weight or fat to lose, I'll use the word weight, but typically I always mean fat loss because you don't want to lose muscle if you can avoid it, this is a result of years, decades, perhaps multiple decades of habits that are very ingrained in the way that you have lived your life and got to where you are. The thing is, you also don't actually know which of these habits are responsible for it exactly. And so people will jump on various diets and various things, but when it comes to doing it, a lot of people are simply not willing to do what it takes. And one of the things that I tell people, which maybe I'm not a very good salesperson, but I feel I need to be honest with people, is that losing and maintaining fat loss is likely one of the, if not the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life. And in 12-step programs, they say half measures won't do. So as soon as somebody, if you tell them what they need to do and they say, yeah, but, I know I must sound like I'm lecturing here, but as soon as they say, yeah, but, I can almost guarantee that it isn't going to happen for them long term. And the fact is, that everyone is a struggler. The person who appears to have it all in place, there are a few select individuals who seem to not do anything about it, but usually when they get on my body composition scale, even though visually nobody will say that they look obese or whatnot, very few people, for men, having 15, under 20% body fat, for women having under 30, 25% body fat is actually quite rare. So the thing is, this message, I'm not sure how motivating this is you have to become obsessive about it. You have to be really, really dedicated and committed. And when I say that, there's a caveat there. Is by obsessive, I don't mean, for example, lowering your calories more and more and more and doing more and more activity, because your body will rebel against that and actually become counterproductive. And you won't be able to stick with that in the long term, and you'll wind up going the other way or injuring yourself from all that activity and whatnot. So obsessive means you have to become a student, you have to study it, you have to learn what works, what doesn't work. And ultimately, one of the things is that you have to track what you eat. Now, I like apps on your phone that you write things down. Other people may do it on a notebook. Other people may cook meals in advance so that they know what they're going to eat, so they don't have to track this every day. And it is a pain in the butt. But ultimately, if you don't do that, it simply is not going to happen for you. There's just no two ways about that. So the thing is, keep in mind, you're getting in the ring with the toughest opponent ever, and this opponent will never stop getting up for the next round. So if you want to do that, first thing you need to do is acknowledge the opponent and the how much of a big challenge this is. Because if you go in thinking, oh, I can do it with whatever method of the day that says it's easy, it simply won't happen. Bye for now.